Cardinal is AM 1600 KDAK, Carrington, and FM 100.1 K261EW, Carrington. Locally owned and operated by I3G Media.
It's time to find out what's going on in Carrington Cardinals athletics on the Carrington Coaches Show on KDAK The Cardinal and the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. The Carrington Coaches Show takes you behind the scenes of all things Cardinal athletics. Now, live from the Prairie Inn in Carrington, here is BJ Walters.
And welcome in. It is episode 9 of the Carrington Coaches Show, live from Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery here in Carrington, just off the roundabout. We've got a full show for you tonight. A lot of celebrating to do tonight. Later on, I'm sure Coach Smith will tell us not to celebrate too hard. There's still work to do, but we'll be joined by head football coach Kyle Smith. The Cardinals clinched the playoff spot on Friday, and so we'll talk to Coach Smith about the Botno game and all the scenarios that come with Week 8, as well as getting ready to face Botno this Friday. We'll also have cross-country coach Josh Kerbaugh join us in just a little while, but you're probably wondering who the two ladies, if you're on YouTube, sat to my left are. We'll get to that after we give you the specials, the omelet special here on this Monday. Chili, hash brown, and cheddar omelet. Delicious. The breakfast special, it's a pretty simple one. 1 egg, American fries, and toast. And the Roundup burger is the sandwich special, a 1/4 pound bacon cheeseburger with an onion ring served with French fries or a cup of soup. The daily special, a barbecue chicken breast dinner with mashed potatoes, vegetable, and a dinner roll or toast. You can see this scrolling across the bottom of YouTube, but for those of you on radio going, really? Come on. Talk to me a little bit. All right, this is how you can get in contact with us and ask any of our guests any questions that you may have. You can do that by texting this phone, 218-553-1246. You can email us, bj@newsdakota.com. You can hit us up on the Facebook page, KDAK 1600. Just comment your question on the post promoting this show. Same thing on Twitter, at KDAK The Cardinal. However, we begin tonight with a very successful weekend for Carrington Cross Country in the regional meet that they had, and that was in Cooperstown. It is now a case of you have to get under a certain time to qualify for state, and 3 Carrington girls were named all-region. I believe that's the top 20 within the region. Kennedy Pazdernick, who is not with us because she's about to play volleyball in an hour, but we have Macy Feiberger with us, and also Kari Coleman is joining us. Ladies, whoever wants the mic first, go ahead. Congratulations on being all-region, and since you picked up the mic first, Macy, what does it mean to finish in that top 20 and finish with that all-region?
It's crazy. If you told 7th grade me that I'd be here today, I would not believe you. I'd think you were lying and crazy. But yeah, I'm just super proud of myself because I got a 53-second PR, and that's big for any PR, but especially in regionals where it actually matters, it's really, really hard to do that, and I'm just glad I did that.
All right, we'll let Kari answer the same question. I've got another question because you just used a term that I'm not familiar with. But Kari, for you, this is your first year on the varsity meet. You've been running really well in the sub-varsity meets, and by really well, I mean you're usually top 2, top 3 in those things. So what did it mean to you to get all region?
It was, I don't know, it felt good, but because it was my first year, so I didn't think that I'd be doing this good, especially in 7th grade, but.
Yeah. Okay, Macy. What is PR that you were talking about?
It's a personal record. So when you run like your best race, you get a PR, and how many seconds you get off of that is like how many seconds you PR'd by. And like same with like a season record, an SR, it's your best for that season.
So what was, we'll start with you then, what was the course like? Cooperstown is where the regional meet was last year, and you all did quite well. Was it similar? Was it different? What was it like?
Cooperstown is like a beautiful course, one of the best courses I think to run at, because right before mile 1 there's this big downhill that you go on. It's very gradual, and it just pushes you to get that good like first mile time, and it's just super flat course, super shady, but also with sun, so if it's cold outside you get some sun in there. But yeah, it's nice like for just a regional meet. I'm glad that we get to have regionals there.
Kari, what was that course like in comparison to the other courses that you've run this year?
It was probably one of my favorites.
What made it that?
Just there's a lot of, it's just flat, and then downhills, and
How much faster have you gotten throughout the year? I'm especially interested to hear this from you because this is your first year on varsity, and you're still so young. You're going to get a lot better as the years go on.
my PR was over a minute.
Wow, that's really good. So, you now have the opportunity to go to the state. First off, you've already kind of answered this question, but I'll ask it anyway. In your wildest dreams, did you think this would happen this year?
No.
What were your goals at the end of the year? For you?
Just to do good, I guess, and be better than I don't know.
Kari, Macy, what about for you? What were some of your goals coming in here? So far, have you reached them?
I think my goals are pretty good. Just to my goal was to get all 8 of them here, and obviously I accomplished that. Also, my old PR was 21.59, and that was barely one, so I wanted to dive down 21, and I accomplished that on regional meet.
So take us through the race on the whole. How did it start? How did it go for you? Were there times that it ebbs and flows? You come back to the pack a little bit, then accelerate and what have you. Kind of how did the whole day go?
Well, at the start, you have to start really fast because all these girls want to get all region as well. So you have to start probably at like your not your 100%, not 100%, but like 95% sprint, just so you can get in front of the pack and stay in front of the pack and secure a place that's not boxing you in. Because like maybe like 100 feet in, there's this turn and it gets like super sharp, and you can get boxed in really easily, and you have to get in front of the pack to stay out of that, like getting boxed.
Kari, what about for you? What did you make of your race? How did sort of you go about it individually?
I was trying to keep a good mindset, and my 3rd mile was definitely slower, but I just tried to keep going and push myself.
How do you pace yourself knowing that this is a long race? I mean, this is by no means a sprint. So how do you sort of pace yourself?
I just make sure to keep the girl in front of me in my sight, so I can see her and gradually get closer to her.
Macy Feiberger and Kari Coleman are joining us. Macy, for you, you're, in the top 20 pretty regularly in the varsity meet. That probably means that you face some of the same runners continuously. Were there certain runners that you knew if you kept up with them, you'd be in a really good spot?
Yes, there were. There's a couple girls from like rugby that I need to keep up with, because rugby is a really good team, and I just know I need to keep my eye on them because they always place ahead of us too. So if we can take points away from them, that's what the goal is, to get more points and to get better places.
So I'll ask both of you this. How much are you able to learn from Kennedy, and then how good is she? Because she got 3rd place. If I got 3rd place in a meet, I'd be ecstatic. She's probably hanging her head because she won it a year ago, and now this year third, I can't imagine having those kind of expectations on myself, but what's it like having her as a teammate?
Kennedy is a fantastic role model for all of our 7th graders and everyone that's younger than her. She is like someone that's so amazing to look up to because her times and her mindset are just, she knows how to push, how hard to push, and like when to push, and it's just like great because she has so much experience in cross country that you can learn so much from her, and she's willing to help you out. She's willing to tell you what you're doing wrong, tell you how to get faster, and it's very nice to have a teammate like that.
A lot of head nodding. I'm guessing you agree with a lot of that.
Yeah, basically all that Maisie said.
Yeah. What's it like as a 7th grader, you know, being a part of this and knowing that you're going to get faster, you're going to get better? Like, do you allow yourself to think into the future of, oh my goodness, I could be, if I put the work in, I could be really good at this?
Yeah, that's what I try to think of when I like run, I guess, just my future and everything that's coming.
So have either of you ever run in Jamestown before? What's that course like?
It was my first course that I've ever ran, so it was, I don't know, it was good. Wasn't my favorite course, but...
What about Macy? What do you make of Jamestown?
There is a lot of loops that you go around, but I don't know. Whenever I go to Jamestown for the first race of the season, it just gives me so much adrenaline because I know that at that same place in a couple months that I'll be there for state, and it gets me excited for the end of the season, but I know that there's more to come. There's also really big hills at it. There's a big hill that you go down and then back up. It's really hard, but it gets you in a good mindset at the first race, and then it prepares you for state, and it's really good for young runners to know that it's going to get better and your time's going to get better.
Okay, so here's a question for both of you. You've run this course earlier in the season. It's probably going to be, 40 degrees cooler than it was the first time you ran it. How does that impact things?
Well, the first race was really, really hot, I remember, and also, like, your time, that's your first race of the season, so your time's not going to be that good. But also, with the cooler weather, like, you're not getting hot, well, you're going to get hot while you're running, but you're going to cool off because it's cold outside. And I don't know, it's just a good atmosphere when it's colder, I feel like, for me at least.
I don't really know yet because I haven't ran in that cold of a race, and all of the meets have been pretty hot and warm.
So you're literally going to get to learn how you as a runner react to cold weather. Does that excite you or terrify you?
Kind of both.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what else do you guys partake in, athletics-wise? Do you do other sports, things of that nature?
I do dance and track and field. And in track and field, I ran the 3200, and I did make it to state for that too this year, so that also gave me a feeling of what state cross country is going to be like, because there's probably going to be the same people there that run the 3200 that also run in cross country, the 5K. So it's just like good to know that they're with you too, trying to get better, but you know that they're probably going to be like your rivals or people you're going against that are going to be tough.
I do basketball and volleyball, and then we do pretty well, I guess.
Sure.
I'm excited for this basketball season.
Yeah, and I'm sure people already know this, but Carrington is such a good girls program. You guys are learning from really good athletes across the board. What kind of lessons have you taken from the older kids?
Just to keep pushing, because I know that they've been in sports since they were like 5th and 6th grade and just stuck with it, and I just need to remember that it's just all gonna get better from here, and that it's gonna go up, and we'll have some ups and downs, but it's mostly gonna be ups, hopefully, and that I just gotta stick with it, know that everything's gonna get better, and I just gotta stay on the path.
Same question, especially because your sister or your cousin rather, is one of the better sophomore female athletes in what is a very good sophomore class.
Yeah, just to keep going and look at your future and what it could be and work hard.
Well, they will be at the state cross-country meet 1 week from Friday. That is in Jamestown. I believe it is 10 o'clock, if I'm correct.
We went on Friday at 3. The boys run at 3 and girls run at 3:45.
There you go. So there it is, and that's what's coming up in Jamestown, the state cross-country meet. Macy Feiberger, Corey Coleman joining us. They'll be joined by pretty much the whole team, and the top 10 finishers get scored, and then you get your team score based on that. I would like to see a little bigger numbers for rugby. I saw some pretty tiny numbers on Saturday from rugby. We'd like some bigger ones, but ladies, congratulations to this point, and good luck in Jamestown.
Thank you so much.
All right, when we come back, we might have Coach Curbaugh. If we don't, it's okay, because we might have a substitute that can do the interview for Coach Curbaugh. I'm sure the girls will like it if we're able to do that. But we will see where we're at when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Looking for great rates and a secure investment? Well, we have the right options to grow your savings. Hi, this is Tiffany Paulson at Bank Forward Carrington. Our current CD specials offer a variety of options, including annual percent yield as high as 4.5 for 7 months. Stop in today for all the details. Helping you save more, but simply the forward way. Additional terms and conditions apply. $2,500 minimum balance required. Bank Forward member FDIC.
Want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children with the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com. Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents of Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
Carrington sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
So we are going to make the substitution, and Coach Bernstein's going to join us, but the thing is, she's got to drive over here. So Coach Curbaugh is right now officiating the JV football game that is going on right now, and that's why he is a little running just a bit behind, and that game is in the second half, which means that we will be getting Kyle Smith here in just a little while, as well as we celebrate Carrington's 26th playoff appearance in school history. That is still to come here shortly on the Carrington Coaches Show. Want to let you know, at the top of the hour, we are throwing it to the gymnasium. We're throwing it to Kyle Hewitt as Carrington Volleyball get ready to host the Kidder County Wolves. Kyle Hewitt will have the call of that one coming up just after this edition of the Carrington Coaches Show. And then tomorrow night, Carrington Volleyball back in action in District 5 play. It is a tougher road for them to get the number 1 seed, but part of it is they can't lose tomorrow night when they visit the Oaks Tornadoes. It'll be right here on the Cardinal at 7:10 with Ricky Clobbercamp, our buddy down in Oaks, on the call of that one as Carrington and Oaks renew acquaintances. It's a match where if Oaks win it, because they've already got a win over Edgeley Cole Montpelier, they would win the regular season region or district championship and be the number 1 seed in the district tournament in Ellendale 2 weeks from Thursday. On that note, 2 weeks from now, we will have volleyball on Monday. The Cardinals and Medina Pingree Buchanan, who are having an incredible season over in Pingree. We'll have that for you on that night, and we'll have the Carrington Coaches Show on the 29th that week. And then the next week we'll have the district tournament, so we'll probably look at a Wednesday show if we have one that week. We will see, but we will let you know. Coach Smith is here. We're waiting on Coach Bernston to come in and sub for Coach Curveball because he was officiating the game, and we'll see. All right, so now we've got Josh's assistant coach. It is probably not the first time that there's been a last-minute adjustment that you had to take care of, but Coach Bernston is joining us, and we just had Kari and Macy. First off, outstanding interviews. They were terribly nervous, but they didn't need to be. What a weekend for your team. I mean, 3 all-region runners. That's an outstanding weekend, especially when they're as young as these girls are.
Yeah, we could not be any more proud of them. They have worked so hard throughout the season, and it's nice to be able to just showcase how talented they are and how hard they've been working.
From your perspective, what was the Cooperstown course like?
The Cooperstown course is a very flat course, and the coach there says that it is made to be a fast one. That being said, our flat courses sometimes can be challenging because when it's flat, it's easy to get just unfocused because it's just flat, you're going back and forth. So going into it, I knew the girls had to have a strategy to keep them on their toes and working their hardest. So we talked about that before the meet, and they were able to execute that very well.
What did you make of the meet on the whole? I jokingly, but there's some truth to every joke, rugby had an awfully good day out there on Saturday.
You know, we're used to that. Rugby always has a good day. We love competing against them because they always just challenge us and make us better. So,
what's it been like to coach this group this year? I mean, not just with the girls, but you have an extremely young, like a remarkably young boys team right now that's going to be good in 2028. Yes, 4 years from now they're going to be really, really good. But what's this year been like for you?
It has been a little different. Like you said, actually probably more than half of our team is junior high right now. And it has been challenging in some ways and also exciting. It's exciting to see that young group of kids coming in, and they bring a lot of just excitement to our team. And our seniors and our upperclassmen, they bring that leadership. So having both those is good for each other. They balance each other well.
And your senior leadership is led by Kennedy. I mean, third place, and she was probably disappointed with that after winning it a year ago. Me, personally, I'd love to come in third place in anything that involves running. Probably not her, but she was named the senior athlete of the region. Just how proud are you of her, and what have you made of the outstanding season that she's had?
She's had just an amazing season. Her time at regionals this year, it was the best time she's ever run. And like you said, she ended up coming in third after being first last year. So it's hard to see some of those younger kids just coming out of nowhere and getting in front of her. But we couldn't be more proud of just the work she's put in season, off the season. She has been a great leader for our junior high volleyball girls as well as the rest of the team. But talking about leadership, we also have Kaylin Payton. She's been a really great leader as well. This season hasn't gone the way that she quite wanted. She ended up getting injured right before regionals, and last year she had been one place off from getting that all region, so her big goal this year was to get that. So that has been very disappointing, and being able to just work through that with her. But I just don't want to leave her out of that, because part of our success as a team has come from her as well.
With how young you guys are, do you see your team in the future putting up really crazy low numbers like what rugby just did at this meet in Cooperstown?
I mean, as a coach, I always strive for that. With our young boys team, but also with this girls team, I think as long as we continue to keep the girls and the boys that we have out, as well as continue to just get some younger classmen as well, I think we have a chance. We have the talent. It's just whether we are able to get them into the sport and get them excited about the sport.
Assistant Coach April Berntsen joining us. I don't want to let you go before asking about how excited you are for what's coming up in the spring. It's also probably terrifying because after 30 plus years of Coach Hochul, now you're taking over. Not to try and make it sound terrifying, but I mean just how much do you learn from a guy like that, and then how much are you looking forward to it?
Well, I've gotten that question a lot, and I think my response is always the same. I am excited and terrified at the same time, but I also have just been blessed to be under his leadership for the last 4 years. In fact, one of the first people I texted after our regionals was Mr. Hochul. I was like, Greg, we just got 3 all-regioners. Like, can you imagine our 2-milers this year in track? So, I mean, I'm already looking towards track while still remaining a little bit in cross-country right now. But, yeah, he's built such a good system. I'm excited to continue that and keep that legacy going.
Last question for you. Preview the state meet at Jamestown. How different do you think it will be from the beginning of the year just because the weather's different?
Normally we go into this meet knowing that there's going to be snow that we're going to be dealing with. And right now the weather's actually looking pretty good. Most of our team, because we're so young, they didn't even run the 5K course at the first meet. So for a lot of them, it's going to be very different. Jamestown has a big hill at the end, and to prepare, we normally will go there as a team. So our team will be taking our practice time on Friday and going and kind of strategizing with that course. I know it pretty well, so they get a lot of talking to by me, and they get to practice that hill right at the end so they can really be successful.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for filling in. Like, when I say last minute, I mean the girls called her at the end of the last segment. That's how last minute it was. Coach, thanks so much, and we'll certainly be talking going forward.
Thank you so much.
All right, when we come back, Coach Smith is here, and we're going to fly through a couple segments with him because he also wants to get over for volleyball to watch Bryn play. So we'll have Coach Smith when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. We That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Looking for great rates and a secure investment? Well, we have the right options to grow your savings. Hi, this is Tiffany Paulson at Bank Forward Carrington. Our current CD specials offer a variety of options, including annual percent yield as high as 4.5 for 7 months. Stop in today for all the details. Helping you save more, it's simply the forward way. Additional terms and conditions apply. $2,500 minimum balance required. Bank Forward member FDIC.
Want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children in the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com. Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents of Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
Carrington sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Snap is back, and Fritz gets a line drive kick away that is fielded by Zink at the rugby 45. Inside the 35, the Eagles left. He's got a lot of room. There goes McCain Zink. Touchdown, Carrington. A 45-yard punt return. The first special teams touchdown of the year for the Cardinals. And that set Carrington on their way and all the way to the postseason. Friday night, a 35-14 clinching win over Rugby. We are joined by ninth-year Cardinal head coach Kyle Smith. Coach, your record, by the way, is now 46-36. So you know, if you had the goal of getting to 50 this year,
that would be nice.
Get there, now we're going to the Dome. So
that would be nice.
I'm totally for that. But congratulations on the playoff appearance and a playoff clinching game where you dominated.
Yeah, we did. Minus that opening possession fumble. I thought the kids bounced back very quickly, came back down, took a lead, and just never let up. And that's been kind of a thing that we've been trying to preach. When you get a lead, you've got to keep the foot on the gas and keep building, and because all these teams are, their skilled kids are quick and explosive, and you never know when they can make a comeback. So I thought we did a very nice job keeping the pedal to the metal and playing for 4 quarters.
How important was that after they get the opening touchdown after the fumble to just go right down the field and have Josh just put a guy on skates for the touchdown run?
Yeah, I think it's huge because, one, it swings momentum back in our favor, and secondly, maybe it takes a little bit of confidence away from them, because a team like that, when they have some confidence, they're even more dangerous than when the game starts. So I think, and then we took the lead 14-7, then 21-7. I think you could just kind of slowly see the wind come out of their sails. So to bounce back quick is huge in a game like that.
Your defense should get all of the headlines from Friday night, and it was all three levels of the defense. Your line gave them nothing. Your linebackers allowed only, 91 rushing yards for the whole game, and, that was basically all three runs for the most part. I mean, and then your secondary gave up 4 yards passing on it. I mean, it was a full defensive performance.
It was, and that's what it takes, and you get into North Dakota late in the season, you never know what the weather's going to be like. That's why they say defense wins championships, and we're really happy with our pass defense, because we knew with their routes and things they run, we'd have to play a lot of man, and we manned up, and boy, I'll tell you what, there was rarely a guy open. And we got a good pass rush, and linebackers cleaned stuff up. So, yeah, a complete defensive effort, that's for sure.
Two things from the game, and I was talking to David this morning about this. That's the first dead ball personal foul or unsportsmanlike that your team has had this year. It's the first pass interference that your team has had this year. The sign of a good football team is you don't have the really back-breaking penalties. And I could make the case the pass interference saved a touchdown.
It did, and we tell kids, a pass interference in high school is 15 yards. That's better than giving up a 45-yard touchdown. And that was still, I thought Peyton had a pretty good coverage. If he gets his head turned, they probably don't throw a flag. It was a touchy call, but Peyton learned something from it. You turn your head, they probably don't call it. The personal foul call, our first one all year, and there was apparently some stuff going on earlier in the game with that kid, and I didn't want to delve into that, but yeah, that's stuff you just got to keep your head, and in a big game you can't have that stuff happen. So, but really proud of the kids being able to keep their composure and limit those big penalties this year.
You mentioned something that I think is really important. Playing in North Dakota means you cannot go into the playoffs and expect to throw it 40 times. It's just not going to happen. You guys have your heavy set, which you guys like to call mud. It also seems like your offensive line is awfully comfortable blocking in your base set as well. When you have that versatility and they're able to block several different schemes that are run-based schemes, that must make your job a little easier.
It really does, and especially going back and forth between the two, because mud is certainly a different blocking scheme than our base, which is more of a gap blocking scheme. So the offensive linemen have done a really nice job adapting, and I think it's because we did both of them a lot last year. But yeah, it gives our offense some flexibility. If we're not able to move the ball out of the shotgun, we can go under center for a while, and vice versa. So credit to the kids for learning a couple different, really two different offenses, and being able to make them both work.
In the last two games combined now, you have had 46 offensive plays. 43 have been run plays against Langdon and Rugby. That again is a credit to the offensive line.
It is, and like I said, when you get the lead and you can run the ball, that makes you awfully hard to beat. You move those chains, keep that clock running, and then the clock goes pretty fast when you're running the ball and you can move the chains. So, and I think we talked about this earlier. When you pass the ball, three things can happen, and two of them are bad. So that's right. I like to run first.
That's right.
And the kids have done a good job, especially when we got a lead. At just moving the chains, sustaining the, hanging on to the ball, and grinding clock down.
Head coach Kyle Smith joining us, 9th year head coach of the Cardinals. So there's this thing that is almost taboo to talk about with coaches. It's peaking for a football team. It does seem like you guys maybe haven't peaked, because I'm sure you would like to cut the fumbles out and things of that nature, but it certainly seems like you're on the up in terms of getting to the peak. I mean, your last three games have been really just physically dominant games.
They have, and from you look at the big picture, we've played well, but when you look at the little picture and watching film, you can see how much better we can be. Those missed assignments, those things like you said, fumbles, things like that we can clean up and be even better. So, my message to the kids today was, hey, strive for perfection, and you catch excellence along the way. So that's our goal.
And you look at another thing that I'm in awe of is on both sides of the ball this year. Early on this year, you can totally understand why it's Josh and Ryder doing pretty much all the work. As this season has gone on, McCade, Peyton, Tate, these guys have really integrated themselves into the offensive side of the ball, and then defensively, what you thought was a area that you needed to improve on from last year to this year, secondary, not giving up big plays. You were doing it with guys who haven't played secondary a lot, and now they're playing really well. I mean, the development of depth within your team has just been awesome to watch.
Yeah, and I think that's part of that is the kids being coachable. You know, a kid like Peyton Carrington hasn't played football since junior high or youth football, comes out and learns footwork and his natural speed makes him an awesome defensive back. And I think part of us continuing to spread things out is, you know, the injury to Corbin. Kids have had to step up and make up for his defensive prowess, and then Tate has done a nice job of stepping into that B-back position and being a receiver and a blocker and a runner like Corbin was. And so, you know, I think a combination of things why you see different kids stepping up and doing things, but it's awfully nice because the more weapons you have, the harder you are to defend.
It is so much fun watching Tate play defense, just because you can tell how much film he's watched. He knows where the plays go. I mean, there was on the sack that he got, the full sack that he got Friday, I was watching him that whole play. He stood there, waited for the gap to develop, and then explode. Like, he just understands the game so much, and football IQ is something you can't teach.
It isn't, and you know, and a lot of it is instinct with Tate, and then a lot of it is he puts in a lot of time watching film. You know, I don't think anybody watches more film than Tate, and when you have that instinct and that preparation, well, he's, you know, I think rugby even tried to double team him a lot. But if you beat the guy to the ball, it doesn't matter what they do. And he is certainly, I think he's up to 120 tackles or something like that in 8 games, just almost unheard of. And just had an outstanding year. And he's a junior, but he's also a good leader. Works hard, and on the offensive side, he's come in and done some awful good things too with Corbin's injury. So he's filled some big shoes, and we're going to expect a lot more of him here into the next game in the postseason.
Do we need to start referring to this place as linebacker high? Because as I recall, Corbin's older brother at linebacker put up some pretty crazy numbers himself.
Yes, he did, and Corbin did last year as well. You know, Corbin's brother Michael was an all-state linebacker. Corbin was an all-state linebacker. Tate is gonna, you know, he's certainly had a season good enough to be one, and we'll see what happens with voting and stuff. But yeah, we've been really blessed with some athletic kids who are hard-nosed and Dick Butkus type kids, you know, the middle linebackers who aren't pretty. They just grind away and make tackles, and that's pretty awesome. That's old school football.
It definitely is, and boy, has it been fun to watch. We'll come back. We'll talk about the weird nature of Week 8 in this region, and we'll talk about Botno because there are so many different things that could be on the line by the time we get to Friday. We'll do all of that when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is the place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Looking for great rates and a secure investment? Well, we have the right options to grow your savings. Hi, this is Tiffany Paulson at Bank Forward Carrington. Our current CD specials offer a variety of options, including annual percent yield as high as 4.5 for 7 months. Stop in today for all the details. Helping you save more with simply the Forward way. Additional terms and conditions apply. $2,500 minimum balance required. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Do you
Want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, use set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children in the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com. Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents of Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
Carrington sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Make sure the clock is under 40 seconds. He takes the snap. He drops to a right knee. And for the 26th time in program history, the Carrington Cardinals are going back to the postseason. They clinch a berth in the 2024 North Dakota Class A playoffs with a 35-14 win here at Cardinal Stadium over the Rugby Panthers. And that's going to be a lot of fun, but there's work to do before that back at the Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. The evening special 12-ounce ground beef steak with a choice of potatoes, dinner roll or toast, and dinner salad or a cup of soup. We're with Coach Smith. So, Coach, before we dive into Bottineau, this is a weird week because our region has decided one game Wednesday, one Thursday, one Friday, one Saturday. By the time you hit the field Friday, you will actually know what's on the line.
Yeah, and that's kind of a unique situation because normally everyone's playing Friday night and you just got to take care of business and then see what happens after the game. But yeah, it's kind of a unique year that there's games for 4 days in a row, and yeah, I guess it doesn't change our goal, and that's to win that game. And as you know, right now we could be anywhere from the 1 to the 4 seed, so we got to go take care of business and then just see what happens with the rest of the field.
Does it allow you to scout live those other games, or does it even matter now that you won't be playing them anymore?
You know, as far as our goal for Friday night, it really doesn't matter. But I'll probably watch them anyway. But yeah, you know, because of the way the playoffs are set up when we match up against Region 1, I don't think it'll matter too much for postseason. But you never know. But you know, scouting-wise, you can do all you can do on Huddle nowadays anyway. You can watch any game you want, but it'll be kind of a unique situation on Friday night, knowing what happens if we win, but that's the ultimate goal anyway. So
this was a crazy game a year ago. It was the season opener. I believe it was here.
Yep.
And it was 36-34 Bottineau. What do you take from that one?
It was a wild back and forth game, a lot of big plays, and I don't know if you know that we hit a field goal with 16 seconds left, a 39-yard field goal that was good, and as the ball was in the air, the whistle blew, and I went, uh-oh, and here they hadn't blown the ball ready for play yet.
Oh no!
So it was basically a redo, and then they blocked the second attempt. But yeah, that would have been a pretty neat ending to that game. But they're built the same way this year. They're not real big, but they're athletic, they're physical, and so we're gonna have our work cut out for us again. And I expect the same type of game.
This is a game where, and I was watching their Grafton film the other day after it got posted to the Huddle account. At your best, if your defensive line comes out at their best, they can push these guys around a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're going to have a size advantage on the line, but when you watch those kids, they're undersized, but they play very physical, and they understand leverage, and I've seen them dominate kids bigger than them, so we need to ignore their size and just do what we've been doing and continue to be physical and try and open holes up front so our run game works, and that opens up the pass game.
Pretty balanced team, they look like. They don't have one sort of superstar guy, so you have to account for the whole field.
You do, and they've recently made a quarterback switch. I don't know if you noticed that, but they put a kid that was a receiver into the quarterback, and they run a lot of zone reads, so you got to make sure someone's responsible for that quarterback, or he can hurt you because he's a fast little guy. And like I said, their line they do a lot of zone blocking schemes, so we got to make sure we stay home, stay in our areas, and cover all our bases.
When you say zone blocking scheme, that's something that's been very prevalent over the last 15 years in football. Are all zone blocking schemes the same, or are there variances?
There's variances, but most of them, I think, at the high school level are pretty basic. You know, you're running right, everyone steps right and takes care of a zone. That's how it gets its name, and but it gives the running back and the quarterback a lot more options as far as what hole. You know, a lot of times they don't even call a hole when they run a zone blocking scheme. That's the running back picks a hole and goes, and so it's a little different. I don't think we've seen a zone blocking scheme all year, so that'll be a little different for us. But like you said, our D-line's been playing well, and we just got to keep taking care of business up front and win the trenches. When you win the trenches, you got a good chance of winning the game.
And a big key will be don't get too far up the field against that zone read.
Exactly, especially that defensive end, because a lot of times they read the defensive end, they don't block him, so he can't come running upfield because that quarterback's going to duck underneath, and that's where their big plays come from. That's what they actually killed us last year. A couple big plays. Their quarterback had, I think, a 80-yard run in the fourth quarter on a zone read, and so we got to make sure that stuff doesn't happen. We've done a good job keeping things in front of us defensively, and that has to remain this week.
So this week is it must be a good thing that there's still something on the line. There are some teams in this state that clinch a playoff spot, and the last two games are, oh my gosh, don't get hurt. That's all we care about right now. You guys are in a position where you don't want to play Kindred next week if you can help it, and the way to avoid doing that is to win Friday.
Yeah, like I said, we just got to go out there and take care of business, assuming that everything else is going to happen where we have to win. That's the attitude we have to have, and you know, like you said, nobody wants to play Kindred. If that's who we play, that's who we play. But you know, if we win the game, we're not going to worry about that.
That's right. So how much of a vested interest will you then have in the Ellendale Edgeley Combs Central Cass game in Castleton? Because that would determine not just your opponent, but where you're going to play next Saturday.
That game becomes very important to us. If we win the game, then we're going to keep a close eye on that and scout that one, because one of those two would be our opponent if we win the game. So, and both are obviously really good teams. I think Castle went up to Langdon first game of the year and won with a similar score we did. Yep. Harvey got beat by Edgeley one of the earlier games in the year by a touchdown. So I think a lot of parity as far as the top 10 teams minus Kindred in our class as well.
Yeah, and then you look at, you know, what's to come with the playoffs. It's an exciting time of year, but in terms of little details, you mentioned that in our last segment, little details. What are you looking for in terms of little details this week that, as a coach, makes you go, oh no, we're ready for the playoffs?
You know, little things like watching film today when our receivers are crack blocking, that they break down and get their hands on their guy and stay there, because option plays take a long time to develop, or quick screens take a long time to develop. And if you go up and get a one hit and let him go, that guy's going to most likely make the tackle. That's one little thing. Another little thing is just understanding assignments. You know, our offensive scheme isn't very difficult for the O-line, but you got to remind them once in a while, okay, we're running this play, what's your job? And they got to be able to say that in 3 or 4 words. And if they understand that make things simple. So just being assignment sharp, little things like stock blocking and staying in front of guys, and defensively, same thing, not letting anybody behind you, keeping things in front of you. That's really a big thing, I guess. But that's our main goal defensively with Botno, because they have big play capability, and if you make them earn their points, you're going to limit the amount of points they score. So anyway, those are our goals and our aspirations for the week.
312 yards rushing on Friday, and I was thinking about this. You guys have been very fortunate this year. You've had the same 5 offensive linemen in every game. Continuity matters up front, doesn't it?
It certainly does, especially on the O-line, because they have line calls that they do. They know their assignment, but they're assigned when they double team, and they know which guy's going to go on to the linebacker after they double team. They know when they can cut a guy so that we're not getting a chop block where the other guy's hitting them high. So yeah, continuity is huge on the O-line, and these kids have really come together, as you can tell with our rushing game.
And especially the last 2 games, I think you've run for over 500 yards, which, surprise, surprise, you averaged 250 last year. In your hot streak right now, you're averaging about 250 on the ground. I mean, sometimes the numbers are more than numbers, right? Like it shows you, A, your identity, and B, that you're going in the right direction.
Exactly, and like we talked before, Josh is becoming a very big passing threat, and now dropping back, he's a very big threat with his legs, and he's just kind of figured that out kind of halfway through the year, like, holy smokes, I can drop back and still run the ball and be a problem for the defense, and so he's really a triple threat back there, but his passing in this year has been so much improved, and I know his percentage is really high, and his touchdown to interception ratio is really, really good. So just an invaluable asset to us, and the O-line's done a good job protecting him too. He hasn't been sacked much at all. So
that rugby safety does not want to see Josh ever again. The one that he just juked out of his shoes for the first touchdown.
If he watches any film, he's not alone. Josh has done that to a few kids this year. So
that's exactly right. Well, Coach, we'll look forward to another long road trip. It wouldn't be the 2024 season without another long road trip. And we'll see you Friday.
Appreciate it. Thank you, BJ.
That is head coach Kyle Smith. He's going to go watch Bryn play volleyball. We're going to toss it in just a little while to Kyle Hewitt to call the volleyball match against Kidder County. Our thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. Our thanks to Prairie Inn, our gracious hosts here in Carrington. We'll be back with you next Monday to talk playoffs. Until then, good night from Prairie Inn.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping make the wonderful places we